Alright, so the Eagles just got a surprising update before taking on the Commanders, and it has the potential to change this game significantly, as it was just revealed that one of the Birds' most important players is dealing with an unexpected injury that has put his status for Sunday's game in doubt. So what's the latest on that situation? Meanwhile, it seems like there's a good chance that Saquon Barkley and the Eagles are about to expose the Commanders' biggest weakness, while the Birds got some other big injury updates leading into the game, and hear why Cowboys star Micah Parsons is rooting for an Eagles loss, even at the expense of his own team. So we're going to talk about that and all the other news leading to the Eagles matchup with the Commanders starting right now. Hey guys, welcome to the Philly Fan 21 channel. If you're new, I'm Evan and I cover all things Philadelphia Eagles. And the Birds matchup with the Commanders is right around the corner, as the NFC East rivals will face each other on Sunday at 1 p.m. And it's going to be a really fun matchup, as these are two good teams that are obviously rivals and know each other very well, and both of them are fighting for playoff positioning in the late stages of the season. So this is surely going to be a hard-fought battle. And regarding that playoff positioning, this game specifically is going to have some massive implications, and they don't just apply to the teams playing in the game, as the hated Dallas Cowboys are a team that is currently fighting to stay alive in the playoff race, and the outcome of this game will ultimately determine whether they still have a chance to make it in or not, as Dallas needs Washington to lose this game or they'll be officially eliminated from playoff contention. So as crazy as this sounds, you would think that the Cowboys are going to be rooting for the Eagles to bring home the W this Sunday. However, star edge rusher Micah Parsons doesn't seem to care.
You rooting for both Penn State and the Philadelphia Eagles?
Nah, at this point, it's Philly now. You know, even if we got eliminated, like, I got to crush Philly, like, them. Like, I hate them now because I be seeing them just talking so much on socials now. Like, I don't know, my Twitter page got consumed by Philly.
Philly fan.
Yeah, like, like they say don't look forward to some things, so I'm excited about the matchup too.
I mean, that's honestly hilarious to me, because I think for him to still be rooting for an Eagles loss at the expense of his own team just shows you how disgusted he is with all the success that he's had to watch Philly have this year, and then to also have to constantly hear about it from Eagles fans on social media, I'm sure only makes it more annoying for him.
I'm honestly utterly disgusted on how lucky the Eagles are.
Moving on from that though, while the Cowboys may have stakes in this game depending on how their matchup with the Bucs goes this week, they obviously aren't the only team with a lot on the line in this one, as the Commanders are currently sitting in the 7th seed in the NFC playoff picture, and there's a couple teams right behind them in the standings that could catch up, so it's pretty important that they win this game. And then for the Eagles, a win would be huge for their playoff positioning, as like I talked about in my video yesterday, beating Washington would mean that the Eagles officially clinched the NFC East and also at least the 2 seed in the NFC, meaning home field advantage for at least their first 2 playoff games, which is obviously huge. Not to mention the fact that it also keeps them alive for the 1 seed, so again, there's definitely a lot on the line for the Birds in this game. That being said though, nobody within the Eagles locker room seems to be too focused on any of that.
Yeah, we ain't really talked about that. We're not really focusing on that. Like you said, it's a bigger goal at stake. Like we focusing on so many other things. Like we just got to go out there and win this weekend.
Sunday, winning the division, a possibility if you beat the Commanders. No one seems to be talking about that.
No, it's not the focus. I mean, per our conversation off camera, like we just haven't. That hasn't been the focus. And quite honestly, I didn't know that we had the chance to do that till you brought it up. Because it's not the. Like, as boring as it sounds, we're just playing our next game. We're just preparing for our next game, and this is a really tough opponent because it's a division game, and so they're a really good team. So right now we're just focusing on that. They're going to give everything they have, and we're going to give everything that we got.
Man, you just gotta love how locked in this Eagles team has been all season, and it's clearly paid off, as that mindset has helped them win a ton of games and it's gotten them to the point where they are now. So hopefully it helps them win another one this week versus Washington, and in turn they lock up the division and the 2 seed. But doing that will be no easy task, as Washington is a good team that tends to play the Eagles pretty well, and they have firepower on both sides of the ball. And offensively, obviously everything starts with the rookie quarterback Jayden Daniels, who continues to play really well in his first NFL season, and even though the Eagles did do a pretty good job of containing him and slowing him down last time, he's still obviously going to be a tough assignment for this Eagles defense. And linebacker Nakobe Dean talked about some of the challenges that Daniels presents ahead of the matchup.
Oh man, you see a guy who works well with that offense, and when things go bad, he know how to make it right. You know, you see a lot of kind of quarterbacks know how to use their legs and be able to do that. So he's definitely a dynamic playmaker that can make probably seem like all the throws in, and also make plays with his legs.
Yeah, I mean, like Dean said there, Daniels certainly does have a versatile skill set, as he has the ability to both make every throw in the book and pick apart a defense from the pocket. But he can also get out of the pocket, extend plays, and scramble when he needs to, so that's a lot that the Eagles defense has to account for, but it's also nothing new, as they've faced multiple mobile quarterbacks over the last few weeks, and they've done a pretty good job containing them. And they also did do a pretty good job containing Daniels back in Week 11. Now, to be fair, Daniels is a bit healthier now than he was back then, as his rib injury has healed up a bit, but still, I'm confident that the Birds' #1 ranked defense can slow down Daniels and have a successful day. And I mean, overall, this is just going to be a really interesting matchup between the Eagles defense and the Commanders offense, as of course, Philly ranks #1 in the league in both yards and points allowed, and they do pretty much everything at a very high level, while the Commanders offense is 5th in yards and 6th in points, and they also have a top 5 rushing attack in the league, so this is surely going to be a challenge for both sides. But that being said, again, I do have confidence in this Eagles defense, no matter who they're facing, as we've obviously seen them shut down some of the league's top offenses before, including Washington, so I personally think that they're going to be able to handle business once again in this game. And a huge reason for that is the play of the star defensive tackle Jalen Carter, who, by the way, has not only been playing at an absolutely elite level this season, but he also has been on the field more than any other defensive lineman in the entire NFL, as Carter has played an insane 84% of the Eagles' defensive snaps this year, and mind you, that's while being double teamed at a crazy high rate, so that just speaks volumes about JC's fitness and conditioning level, which was in question coming into the year. And we haven't even mentioned the added toughness and attitude that he's added to this Eagles defense, so just a huge shout out to Carter for what he's been doing, and hopefully he'll continue to wreak havoc on Jayden Daniels, Brian Robinson, and the Commanders offense as a whole in this game. But now, switching over to the other side of the ball, we're going to have a very good matchup there as well, as we'll get to see the Birds' star-studded offense go up against a top 10 Commanders defense. That being said though, Washington does have a clear weakness that the Eagles should theoretically be able to take advantage of. So don't worry, we're going to get into that and so much more in just a minute, but real quick, I do want to say, if you are enjoying this video and you don't want to miss any other Eagles coverage or content just like this coming throughout the rest of this entire season, then make sure you subscribe, and also really importantly, turn on notifications so you're notified instantly when one of these videos is uploaded. Trust me, you guys are not going to want to miss any of the Eagles coverage or content I got coming on this channel. I cover the Birds pretty much daily here, so if you want to stay up to date on all the latest Eagles news, this is the spot. So again, subscribe and turn on notifications, and also drop a like while you're at it, because it really does help me out a ton. Let's see if we can get to 700 likes today. And now, with all that being said, let's get back into the video. So as I was saying, the Commanders defense does have a clear weakness, as they're ranked 24th in the NFL against the run. So for an Eagles offense that's ranked #1 in rush yards per game, this is obviously an extremely favorable matchup on paper, and Saquon Barkley should hypothetically have a huge day. That being said though, the last time these two teams met, it wasn't exactly easy going for Barkley in the Birds running game, as the Commanders held them in check for 3 quarters until they eventually blew it open in the 4th. So this is still going to be a tough matchup for the Birds ground game, but hopefully they'll be able to have a bit more consistent success throughout this game than they did back in Week 11. And something that would really help out the Eagles rushing attack this week is if star guard Landon Dickerson is in fact available, as obviously he's just quite literally a huge part of what the Birds do in the run game. So again, having him out there is pretty important. Now, as of the recording of this video, we don't exactly know what Landon's status will be for this game. Obviously, he went down with a knee injury last week against Pittsburgh and then missed Wednesday's practice before returning in limited fashion on Thursday. So the good news is that he has continued to trend up throughout the week. Obviously, he was out there again today at practice as well. It's just that we won't know exactly if it was in limited or full capacity until the Birds release their final injury report later this afternoon, and we also won't know what his official status is for this game until then. Now, if I'm going to make a prediction, I'd say he probably gets listed as questionable, and maybe by the time you guys are seeing this video, you already know what his status is, but again, hopefully he ends up playing, because he's just super valuable to the Birds ground game and also just the offense as a whole. Plus, it would be a bummer to miss out on one of Landon's awesome pregame speeches.
Hey, look, we don't choose the schedule, we don't choose the time, the place, we don't choose the opponent. But you know what I choose? I choose violence. From the first snap to the last whistle. Choke him out and make him remember your name. Let's go. The Steelers on 3. 1, 2, 3. The Steelers.
Man, I don't know about you, but that speech just got me super fired up. And again, hopefully Landon ends up being good to go for Sunday's contest. And I could say that about a number of other injured Eagles as well, including Bryce Huff, who has been a limited participant in practice so far throughout the week after his 21-day practice window was opened, and also Sidney Brown, who returned to practice on Thursday after being out on Wednesday with a concussion. And surprisingly, there is one more guy whose status is up in the air for this one, and unfortunately, it's one of the Eagles' most crucial players. As after missing Wednesday's practice with what was just deemed a rest, A.J. Brown didn't participate on Thursday, but kinda unexpectedly, he was only a limited participant due to what was called knee/rest on the injury report. And to me, the thing that sticks out there is the fact that this knee issue was not mentioned on Wednesday's injury report, but it all of a sudden just kinda came out of nowhere on Thursday. Now, if I had to guess, this injury probably happened on the play where AJ got rolled up on towards the end of the Steelers game, but regardless of whenever it happened, it's definitely not great that AJ's dealing with this, and obviously, if he can't go on Sunday, that changes this game significantly, as it's a massive blow to the Eagles' offense and specifically passing game that finally started to get into a real rhythm last week. Luckily though, it doesn't seem like that's going to happen, as today before practice, AJ was actually asked about his injury and what his status for Sunday could look like, and he said, quote, "I'm playing." So it's definitely good that AJ is in fact going to be out there this Sunday. But again, I will be curious to see the final injury report and what the Eagles list him as and see how much of a participant he was in practice today, just because it would be nice to get a little bit more detail about this injury, but again, if he is going to play, it doesn't seem like it's too serious. And honestly, regardless of that, just like pretty much every other week, I feel pretty confident in the Eagles' chances in this one. I mean, I simply think that they are the better team, and I know they have the ability to win in multiple different ways. So I'm going to take Philly to win by a score of 30-21. But that being said, what do you guys think? Give me all your score predictions down in the comments below. And also, quick update, obviously Christmas is next week, so I'm likely planning on taking Tuesday and Wednesday off just to spend time with family and celebrate the holidays. But don't worry, I'll still be doing my regular Monday video after Sunday's game, and I'll also make sure to cover the news leading into the Eagles matchup with the Cowboys and a couple of videos before that game happens. So don't worry, I'm still going to have a ton of content coming next week, and if you don't want to miss any of it, then again, make sure you guys subscribe and turn on notifications, and also drop a like to show some support if you did enjoy this video. It really does help me out a ton, guys. Again, let's see if we can get to 700 likes today. And also, if you want to watch another Eagles video going over some stuff from earlier in the week, you can check this out right here. And now with all that being said, that's pretty much all I got for this one, guys. So thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.